Peter Navarro, former Trump White House advisor, joins us for this exclusive. Thanks for joining me.
Hey, Ari. How are you today?
I'm good, thanks. We want to get to your lawsuit, and I will reserve time for it. But given the news first, can you tell us, did you cooperate or comply with this deadline in the grand jury subpoena today?
Well, first of all, let's fact check and de-escalate the rhetoric just a bit here. The subpoena I received, which I did distribute to the media, did not compel my testimony. All the subpoena did was ask for the documents broadly construed, which the January 6th committee had asked for. That's all we know at this point. I'm in negotiations, discussions with them about that. Having said that, Ari, I agree with you that this was a serious escalation.
I'll let you continue, but you're making some news. As of today, you are discussing with the Justice Department turning over those records?
No. What I did was let me say this very carefully. I have responded to the Justice Department, and there will be ongoing interactions on that to be determined. Let's let that process take its course.
One follow-up, and then I will let the process.
Sure.
One follow-up, and then I'll let the process go. And I respect that there is a process there.
Sure.
Are you currently offering them any evidence or material? Or when you say response, are you telling them in so many words, no?
Let's talk about the bigger issue now, because that is the essence of my response. And the seriousness for me, Ari, is, the average lifespan in America for an American male is 76 years old. If I were to go to prison for a year, which is what the contempt of charge could do to me, that would be about a fourth of my remaining life. And there would be a fine that would take a significant portion of my retirement savings. So I'm taking this very seriously. But there's some really important principles at stake here. And that's why on Tuesday at district court, I filed a lawsuit against the committee. Now, that lawsuit, you and I talked to that offline a week or so ago, that I was intending to do that. But that was before I got the grand jury subpoena. I added the U.S. attorney to the case before I filed, and what I'm doing now is basically challenging things. And
as promised, Peter, let's get into that as promised. Yep, as promised. So you said you're in discussions with DOJ, but you're not revealing them.
What I said was, let me be clear.
No, but I'm saying that respectfully.
Go ahead. No, what I said was I responded to them, and I expect responses back from them. Okay. And
turning to your lawsuit,
discussions or whatever you want.
Yeah, no, I don't mean to give it a special word. Yeah. So, Peter, turning to your lawsuit, because we are going to make good on that. You filed this suit.
Yes.
Given that the committee has been operating for about 11 months, the Supreme Court has recognized its validity in a different case. What do you think is your strongest argument that could win in court in your new suit against the committee?
Well, the most important one constitutionally, and this is why I'm putting literally my life on the line, standing up for principle. The most important one is about executive privilege and the related concept of testimonial immunity for senior White House officials. For your viewers, executive privilege, it goes back to George Washington and has been long an institution which is recognized in case law, Ari, as being important to allow candor to presidents to promote effective decision making. So that's just a really critical principle. Now, what is being attacked here is executive privilege in a very unique, in my view, fanciful and absurd way. The key constitutional question here, Ari, is whether an incumbent president in Joe Biden can strip executive privilege from his predecessor.
So let's get into
it. Testimonial immunity from me. This is the most important issue.
I read your filing, and so you're saying that. And let's get into it, Peter, because respectfully, you're talking about that argument, and executive privilege does exist. Your problem, sir, is it doesn't exist for you yet because Donald Trump doesn't have your back. You say you're standing tall and going to the mat. You're clearly demonstrating.
Let
me finish, sir.
Let's just stop.
Peter, let me finish, and then I'm going to let you respond. You say it's counterfactual, so let me give you some facts.
As you would say when we debate, that's false. Okay, so that's
okay.
False,
so let me show the evidence, and then you get to respond. So here's the evidence. I'm going to say it so people hear it clearly. Executive privilege does exist and can be litigated. The former president has not invoked it publicly or in writing for you. I'm going to put up for viewers in your response what you say in your suit and what the committee says. They haven't heard from Donald Trump citing privilege for you or others.
So Navarro then appears to fall back on the vague assertion that the executive privilege here belongs to former President Trump, which is not only dubious, but entirely irrelevant, because our committee has not been given any attempted invocation of executive privilege by Donald Trump.
Can you answer once and for all why you should have privilege if Trump won't say it?
Raskin, can talk all he wants. The president is not going to cooperate with a kangaroo committee run by people like Raskin and Adam Schiff. And one of the things I do in the lawsuit, Ari, based on case law, is I go over what's called the legislative history of each of the 7 Democrats on that 9-member committee. And it's relevant,
I read
Ari,
that. I read that, but you admit that Trump has not invoked.
Hang on.
But you admit that Trump has not invoked privilege for you. No, you're getting time. You're getting time, but it's a back and forth.
Let me finish this point. Over a 5-year period, those 7 Democrats have engaged initially on a discredited Russia hoax in 2016 to get rid of Trump, 2 phony impeachment trials, and 3 efforts alone to try to disqualify Donald Trump from office for mental or physical reasons. That's a legislative history which shows that that committee is not performing a legislative function, but rather seeking to punish Donald Trump and prevent him from running for.
And you're getting time on air to make that point that you have with them. But you acknowledge that Trump. But Peter, you acknowledge Trump. This is important, Peter, and I'll let you respond. It's just a question. It won't take long. It's not going to take long, Peter. You acknowledge that Trump has not invoked privilege for you.
I haven't acknowledged anything. All I've said to you, Ari, is that in terms of whatever Raskin says, don't take that to the bank. My point here is it's not my privilege to waive, okay? Let me be clear about this. It's not my privilege to waive. And also, as a senior White House official, here's what's interesting, Ari. I have absolute testimonial immunity. According to who? According to the Department of Justice going back to the 1970s, over a dozen opinings from the Office of Legal Counsel say.
So let's get into that, Peter. I'm going to jump in.
I'm going to jump in
officials have on this point, so we go back and forth.
I don't know how the Department of Justice, which is right here,
Peter,
by the way.
Now, Peter, you finished that answer. Peter, I'm going to jump in.
When it's their policy to support that.
So, Peter, on the screen we have what this Supreme Court, which includes multiple Trump appointees, ruled 8-1 that this ex-president's executive privilege claims would have failed even if he were still president. You're raising an issue that, by the way, is interesting about whether there is legal questions or gray area about former presidents. But this Supreme Court, with people that the White House you served put on it, 8-1 backed the ruling by the appeals court that Trump doesn't have it. I want to put one more thing on the screen for your response, because you say, okay, you were a White House aide, but look at your colleagues, and I want to get you on record on this, Peter, because this is important stuff. And these hearings are starting next week. And people need to hear from everyone.
You can't kind of keep going. Let me respond to this, okay?
You want to? All right, I'm going to give you a minute, Peter. I'm going to give you a minute to respond to this.
Ari.
Go ahead.
Fairness, one at a time. That case was a small piece that was related to the Presidential Records Act. It was not a case broadly construed about executive privilege, particularly that applies to testimonial type immunity and discussions with the president.
So let's go to testimony, which I'm going to put back on the screen for your response.
Please do the case law. That's what I've done.
Let's do it.
Surprised me.
I read it. And this is a chance to cover more than one thing. So, Peter. Yes. Peter, you said documents. That was a document case. Now you get to testimony, people talking to the committee.
Presidential Records Act case, and it was a
Yes,
subset of documents.
Records documents,
that were
yes.
in question, okay?
Hey,
my view
Peter,
is
Peter,
if
take
you
some
have a
agreement from me.
lawsuit-
Peter, I just agreed with you. Yes, it was a document record case. Now let's go on testimony. There's some people on the screen who have cooperated. Donald Trump's family, his chief lawyer in this effort, Rudy Giuliani, his chief spokesperson. Over 700 people have cooperated with the committee. If you're right, and we hold open the possibility that legally you could be right, the case hasn't been decided, what do you say to these people? What do you think of their cooperation?
Well, first of all, 4 of the 6 are not senior White House officials, so they don't have any claim. They wouldn't have the same claim. I mean, Rudy might. I'm not sure what their claims would be. With respect to Kushner, I call him out in my own lawsuit. I thought it was cowardly what he did to go to the committee and undermine the executive privilege of other senior White House advisors. So that's what I would say about that.
Interesting. Okay. There's the other question that hangs over all of this, Peter, which is you have every right to prosecute your view of these events. You're clearly doing so.
Yes.
And we make time for you so people can hear from you. That's part of our job as journalists. A lot of your argument, what we just discussed in Privilege, is you keep saying that you have the right not to talk. You're waging this legal battle not to talk to the committee, not to talk potentially to DOJ, although, as you said, TBD. So you're risking going potentially to jail, not to talk to them. But you're out here talking in public. You do realize these investigators can hear you when you talk on TV.
What we're talking about now, Ari, is the case law itself and the constitutionality of executive privilege, testimony immunity. A second key issue in the case is the separation of powers. This committee, this kangaroo committee, has clearly violated the separation of powers. They're not supposed to act as judge, jury, and executioner. They're only supposed to pursue a legislative function.
But you talked about the Green Bay sweep.
Let me give you a hypothetical.
But you talked about the Green Bay sweep. Why can't you talk to them about it if you talk about it in public?
Let me do this hypothetical for you. If it's held by the courts that a sitting president, incumbent president, can strip his immediate predecessor of executive privilege and all of those aides of testimony immunity, what do you think is going to happen in 2022 when the Republicans take back the House, and if a Republican president like Donald Trump gets in the White House in 2024? What do you think? Executive privilege and testimonial immunity will be obliterated as we know it. Presidential decision-making will be destroyed.
Let's explore that.
Is that what you support, Ari? Do you support that? Do you support
you bring that
Biden
up,
being able to strip
you bring that
Trump
up,
of
and you bring that up, Peter.
I'd love to know the answer to that. Do you support that?
And as I've told you before, when you have a TV show, I'd be happy to come on as a guest and answer your questions.
Don't state on that. Tell your viewers. Come on. Tucker tells his viewers what he thinks. Tell them what you think, Ari. It's an important
we all have different
issue.
standards, but I will take your premise seriously, sir, which is I know the part of your filing.
This is why I'm fighting.
So let me respond. Let me respond to you and give you a question. I'm going to read from your filing where you talk about leading this charge.
Yeah.
You say in there, quote, if an incumbent can strip the predecessor of privilege, exactly what you just mentioned, then you say, just imagine what will happen to Biden and his advisors if Republicans win in 24. Quote, if I'm not dead or in prison, I will lead the charge. What are you threatening, and are you suggesting that you would be in a Republican White House? And what will you do?
You bet your ass that I will lead the charge. I will take Adam Schiff and Jamie Raskin and Nancy Pelosi and Luria and all of those clowns and kangaroos. I'll take Biden and every single senior staff member in there.
And do what?
I will put them with subpoenas. And we'll start with the impeachment of Biden for what? Ukraine, the southern border, all manner of things he is guilty of, and we'll subpoena his senior staff. I don't think that's good for the Republic, okay, Ari? I don't think I think executive privilege, George Washington understood this. Jefferson, Adams, they all understood it. I don't think that the destruction of executive privilege and testimonial immunity to stop Trump from running for office in 2024 is a good Democrat bet, and you shouldn't either.
But you admit,
you MSNBC.
You admit that if you end up back in power, Peter, I just want to get this on the record. You admit that if you get back in power, you will be trying to use the DOJ to issue politicized subpoenas based on Democrats you don't like?
It's not using the DOJ. It's basically I will push as hard as I can to use the same BS that the Democrats are using now to try to put me in prison for standing up for principle. If they want to play that game, we'll play it right back. They hit us, we hit them back hard.
On this topic,
that's not what I want, Ari. Let me be clear. I do not want that. Okay.
Well, you wrote it in a court filing and you just said it on air, sir. So it sounds like what you want. Let me play a little bit of what you said about Dr. Fauci in the same vein. I'm going to play this for your response. Take a listen to what you threatened Dr. Fauci.
What's that? Here's your future, Tony. Republicans are going to sweep and take the House back from Nancy Pelosi. And as soon as that happens, you're going to sit your down in a chair in Congress and you're going to confess to creating the virus that's killed almost 1 million Americans now. We're going to fit you for an orange jumpsuit, Tony. You can count on that.
So this is your agenda, is trying to imprison your opponents.
I'll stand by that, but that's a separate issue from this issue here, all right? I'm sorry that you would go
Is it because you're pledging abuse? I'm not conflating anything, Peter. You're pledging abuse of power.
It's got nothing to do with what we're doing here, Ari. The issue, the only common denominator here, and I just abhor this right now, it's the weaponization of the investigatory powers of Congress for partisan ends. And yeah, Ari, both parties are guilty of it. Shame on them. We got to put a stop to this. I mean, this is just, we are in, look, as an economist, I'll tell you, I've never seen the world and this U.S. economy this bad. We have real problems. The American people doesn't give a crap about what that kangaroo committee is doing.
But Peter,
they do not care.
You're saying we have to, quote, put a stop to the thing you're pledging to do if you're returned to power.
No, I said that if they pull this off, if they institutionalize in case law the ability of Joe Biden or an incumbent president to strip a predecessor of executive privilege, that's wrong. But if they do that, and if they allow, the other thing we haven't talked about, Ari, is the committee itself and how it is neither duly authorized or properly constituted.
We did talk about that.
It has no ranking minority member,
sir,
Ari.
I
No ranking minority member. It
sir,
can't
I did
issue
mention
subpoenas.
that, actually.
It can't issue subpoenas. They are unlawful.
Peter,
they're unenforceable.
Peter, I've given you a good amount of time, but we got to go back and forth. I mentioned that point in your case, and I mentioned that the Supreme Court acknowledge the legal validity of the committee in, yes, a document case, but they acknowledge it. Last item, I want to play Mitch McConnell. Last item, I want to play Mitch McConnell before I lose you, sir, and I've given you a lot of time. Take a listen to Mitch McConnell the night of January 6th.
Yeah.
It was a violent insurrection for the purpose of trying to prevent the peaceful transfer of power.
That was after January 6th. About it, your response in closing, because this all is about something larger than privilege, although I've given you time to make your arguments.
Sure.
Was it
fair enough.
an illegal, was it an illegal violent insurrection that the president at the time bore responsibility for?
The last, as I wrote in my In Trump Time book, the last three people on God's good earth who wanted violence that day on Capitol Hill was Donald Trump, Steve Bannon, and myself, because per the law, well within the lanes of the law, we had a strategy, not a plot, a strategy using the Electoral Count Act to get a legal counting of the actual votes. We believed with due cause that election was tainted. And at that time, peace and calm was all we wanted. Ari, the fact that violence erupted that day,
this doubles back to an important point, Peter.
Legal counting. It was the last thing Trump wanted.
If it was legal, Peter, this doubles back to the point.
Thing Trump wanted. It's the last thing
If it
I
was
ever
legal,
read. What's
Peter,
that?
if it was legal, and you say you were doing that plan,
What
and
is
you just
it
said it
you're
again on
referring
TV, if it was your view of how you could, as you said, use the Electoral Count Act to override or end the election that put
all we wanted
Biden
was a
as
count of the
president-elect.
legal
Hold on.
votes, Ari. Let's be
yes,
clear.
yes.
That's
So
all we
if you
wanted.
can say
A
that
count,
here, and
legal
you
votes.
admit to that, why won't you talk to the
I read
committee
it in
about
a
what you
book.
just said?
It's all there in chapter 21 and in Trump time. Read the book. There was nothing
That's
illegal
part of what-
about that.
yes,
It was straight
sir, that's
between
part
the
of what-
lines. Okay,
That's part of what
in the
violates
previous
whatever
election,
privilege
the
you would have because you
Democrats
put it out.
tried
Peter,
to use that to
I'm
stop
out of-
Trump from getting elected. Come on, Ari.
Peter, I'm out of time, but we did give you ample time. And Peter, I do appreciate.
But take the
Peter, I appreciate you coming back.
seriously here, Ari, because if this is allowed to stand, it's not good for either party and for the republic for which we stand.
Yep. Peter, thanks for coming on the beat, sir.
All right, Ari. Take care.